Hello, my name is Chris and welcome to my kitchen. My videos are meant to do a few different things. They're meant to instruct you, they're meant to review things for you, and they're meant to show you what products I like. Now tonight I wanted to show you how to make ribs for dinner. I want to remind you that this is our family kitchen, so you might hear family noises. You might see my dog, you might see my daughter, you might see my wife, you might hear them. If they do, just ignore them. They'll pass on through and we will keep on cooking. Now, I grew up in California and moved to Tennessee when I was in 5th grade. Once we moved to Tennessee, I discovered a whole new genre of food, barbecue. In California, where I grew up, barbecue was a verb. You barbecued something. In Tennessee, barbecue was a noun, and this opened up a whole new world for me. One of the special treats that we got every so often were ribs. Now, once I became an adult and moved out of my parents' house, ribs weren't something I ever had because I could never figure out how to cook them right. I always ended up undercooking them or overcooking them, and honestly, they were too expensive to try again. So imagine my delight when I found a foolproof way of cooking them. So tonight, I'm going to show you how to make perfect ribs in the quick cooker. Now, the first thing, and this is honestly probably the hardest part, is you have to remove the membrane, this white thing on the back of the ribs. These are it's just one rack of spare ribs, and it's got this white membrane on the back. And you don't have to do it. Some people ignore it. Some people don't mind it. I think it kind of gives it an odd texture if you don't remove it. And you know, some grocery stores, if you ask really nicely at the butcher's counter, they'll remove them for you. It's real hit or miss at our grocery store. But I found the easiest way to remove it is to find a part where you can just slip a butter knife underneath it and wiggle it back and forth until you've got enough loose that you can put your finger in it. Stick your finger in it a little bit more and it starts peeling off. Now it is kind of slimy, so it doesn't always come off easily. So usually once I get to the end, I take a paper towel to grab it. And I just pull it off. Now we got about half of it on that go around, so we're going to go ahead and get the other half. And sometimes it comes right off, sometimes you really have to wrestle with it. See, so that's off. Then you're going to flip it over, and this is how I like my ribs. I like to put a dry rub on it. Now, Pampered Chef sells all sorts of spices. I am sure they are wonderful. I've never tried them, but I'll make you a deal. If you watch this video and you order the Quick Pot, message me, tell me that you're ordering the Quick Pot, and I will throw in one of their barbecue seasonings for you. I've never tried them. I'm sticking with a seasoning that I know and trust and like. It's delicious. It's by Penzeys Spices. If you haven't tried them, they have delightful spices at wonderful prices. They've got a few retail locations, but you can order them online. And this is just their barbecue of the Americas. So you want to put a real healthy amount on there. And just rub it in real good. Now, if you're thinking you like sauce on your ribs, that comes later. That comes after you've cooked it in the quick cooker. And then you've got a choice to make. You can cut it now, or you can cut it after you get it out. You can literally just pick it up, bend it, and put it in. I like to go ahead and cut it. These aren't necessarily serving sizes, they're just manageable sizes. every time you use an electronic pressure cooker, whether it's an Instant Pot, whether it's a quick cooker, and by the way, this recipe will work in an Instant Pot as well, you always want to be sure to add at least 1 cup of liquid. Sometimes I use water, sometimes I use chicken broth. For ribs, I find it gives a really great flavor if I use a cup of applesauce or apple juice, and then a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. And then on top of that, I like to put just a dash of liquid smoke. So I use a Stubbs Hickory liquid smoke. That's my preference, but you could try around, play with it, find the one you like. And I feel the combination of the acidity of the vinegar, the apple juice, and the liquid smoke almost gives it an applewood smoked flavor. Then you're just going to take your rib pieces. You're going to tilt them in there so that they fit and don't go all the way to the top. And you can fit up to 2 racks in there. I've done 2 racks before. I've never done more than that. I don't think 2 would fit. You're going to put the lid on, and then we're going to select the pork option. We're going to adjust the time. We're going to go down to 28 minutes. And then we push start, and we walk away. It's going to take maybe 5 minutes to come to pressure, and that's going to cook for 28 minutes, and then we'll revisit again. So I'll see you in about half an hour. Okay, the quick cooker has come to pressure. It's cooked for the 28 minutes. It did take a little bit longer than 5 minutes to come to pressure, so keep that in mind. But now we're going to let it naturally release for 10 minutes. With a quick cooker, there's 2 ways to release the steam. You do the quick release by pushing this button and it lets all the steam out. Or you do what's called the natural release, where it will the pressure will slowly leak out. And then there's a mixture, which we're doing today. We're letting it naturally release for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, we'll let whatever pressure is out. While it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get out my barbecue sauce. I'm going to get a pan out, and then I'm going to set the oven to broil. Because once these are out, we're going to brush sauce on them, and we're going to stick them under the broiler for just 3 minutes. You don't need to do that. If you don't like saucy ribs, you don't have to do that. I like saucy ribs, and I like that sauce to caramelize a little bit, so I brush the sauce on, stick them under the broiler. Okay, so once this is released for 10 minutes, we're just going to push the button on top, and it's going to release the rest of the pressure. You wait for the little red button right here to drop, and I'll let you know that the pressure is released and it's safe to open. It will not let you open it until it's safe to. It's one of the safety mechanisms built in. And we're just going to take our tongs. Look at these ribs. And I like mine tender, but not quite falling off the bone. That's why I go with 28 minutes. And that's the great thing about this is if you like it a little bit more tender, if you like them falling off the bone, you could do 30 minutes. You could go a little bit longer. You just play around until you find the tenderness you like. But I love the texture and at 28 minutes. Then we're going to take our barbecue sauce. We just use classic Sweet Baby Ray's. It's our barbecue sauce of choice. You might be fancier than me and like a fancy barbecue sauce. Or you might have a favorite barbecue sauce that you and your family use. If you don't, try Sweet Baby Ray's. We have never been disappointed. And I'm going to very liberally apply it to the top, on top of where the spice rub was. And then I always save what's left over because both my wife and daughter like to add a little bit more sauce afterwards to get it extra saucy. So I just, once I've brushed this on, I just move this to the table. All right, so we've got the ribs all covered with barbecue sauce. Now we're going to put it in the oven under a high broil for just 3 minutes, and that'll just kind of give the sauce that glazy, caramelized texture to it. Okay, so our 3 minutes are up. That means our ribs are ready to come out. And I want you to take a look at these. You see the juices running from them. You see the nice caramelized sauce. And if you can smell them, you'll be so happy. I'm not going to have a long wrap up tonight because dinner is ready and my family is ready and they are excited. They've been smelling these cooking. And you can see how tender and flexible these are. But remember, if you decide you want to try this recipe, if you want to order a quick cooker, message me, let me know you watched this video, that you want to try it, and I will, when they ship your quick cooker, they will include Pampered Chef's barbecue seasoning with it. So you could do a dry rub on it. If you don't want a quick cooker, if you have an Instant Pot, this recipe works in the Instant Pot too as well. But this is the best and most consistent way I've found to cook ribs. And in about 20 minutes, each of these bones will be picked dry. So it's a wonderful recipe. I'm glad you joined me tonight. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and thanks for stopping by.